Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, February 26th. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names from our watch list, stocks that are holding up well and showing some good relative strength. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we got four names we're looking at today. They're all on the long side, and given the sort of state of the market environment, which we covered in yesterday's video, so I do recommend checking out yesterday's video to get a feel of kind of where we are in just the broad market context. But given where we are going to be looking at long ideas, but these are names where, they're showing some relative strength, and maybe you're not looking to buy immediately today. Maybe you're not looking for long exposure at all today, which makes sense given where we are, but having a watch list of stocks that are showing some relative strength and are just doing, a bit better than holding in there than the major averages or your favorite sectors is a good practice to, keep an eye on those stocks so you have a go-to list to deploy to when you feel that it's right for the market and for your strategy, of course, to participate on the long side again. So as always, do your homework. These aren't buy everything, drop everything and buy, names right now. They're just ideas here that are showing some good relative strength. So the first here comes from IBD's watch list. This is ticker symbol REGN, and if we look here just certainly at the past 3 days, you can see this looks a lot different than 98% of stocks out there, because as everything has been getting hammered this week, you can see this stock is actually up and to the right, biotech name, and if we zoom out here, you can see it's starting to clear above some of these prior important tops, or where we topped out in 2019. If we go to a weekly chart, you can see it's coming back into again and trying to break through this band here between about 430 and 440. There's been a lot of previous kind of pivot points at this area going back multiple years. So if we go back to the short term, you can see this nice gap, good volume coming in, MACD leading here to the upside. There's lots to like for this particular name, particularly in a market that is looks the exact inverse of this chart. So REGN, that's the first one coming from IBD's watch list. Second one from IBD's watch list is ticker symbol TW, a company called TradeWeb. It's a fairly young issue here, fairly recent IPO as of mid-2019, but notice here, again, showing some great relative strength. Over the course of February, we saw a volume pick up here as it broke out to new all-time highs. It's pulling back, but a very minor pullback right now, again, especially when compared to what most of other stocks are doing right now. You can see MACD recently hit new highs, starting to pull back, and it just really looks orderly here. So nice, calm, collected stock here that seems to be trading in its own sort of universe, and we got a little pullback underway. Might need some more time, but something that I think is interesting and worth watching. So that comes from IBD's watch list. The next two comes from our watch list. Big name here that most people are probably aware of and maybe even watch is Alibaba. Alibaba here, if we zoom out, is actually taking things in stride here in this consolidation, while certainly not out of the woods, and it could turn ugly. It could turn to sort of a rollover. We haven't quite seen that just yet, and it is trying to stabilize, and it is, relatively close off the prior all-time highs that it made. So based on where it's trading right now, it's about 9% off of those highs. But again, you can see it did make a low down here at the end of January. It pushed back up, and it hasn't taken out the January lows, and I think that's interesting here. And that's, of course, before the market started to really price in or sort of freak out about the latest sort of headlines over this past week or so. So the fact that it's still holding above the January pivot, I think, is interesting. The fact that it's still within 10% of all-time highs is interesting. And the fact that it's, for the most part, trading entirely above this 2-year band of supply, I think also makes this interesting. Now, if this starts to roll over, if this starts to aggressively sell off below $200, this gets a lot less interesting to me. But for now, I think it's a good one to keep on the watch list here, just to see how it acts within this, call it 205 to 230, 225 sideways range. So that's Alibaba. And number 2 here from our watch list is ticker symbol COUP. We've talked about this one in the past. This one here is still just doing a pretty good job at just consolidating this this recent market weakness here. Again, when we just take it in context here of what most stocks are doing, this here hasn't really suffered any technical damage to speak of. It did gap down into support on Monday. Buyers stepped in. It managed to actually close nearly positive, or basically flat on the day, slightly negative on the day here yesterday, while major indices were down 3.5%. And again, you can see it's trying to hold positive, good fade off of the highs. So again, I think with all these names, they probably need some more time, but some good early developments here with COUP staying in and above this 154 level. If this starts to break down below here, if this starts to lose 154 on volume and aggressively starts breaking through support, then it becomes a lot less interesting. So for now, again, a nice watch list candidate and something that's holding up in a long-term uptrend. So that's it. That's what we got for this week's trade ideas video. Only 4 names. Again, do your homework on them. Make sure it fits the market that you're looking to trade and your strategy above all else. That is most important, along with risk management. So hopefully these ideas helped. Thanks so much as always for tuning in every Wednesday. Trade ideas just like this. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us at the Trade Risk. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here on Friday for the market weekend recap video.